Okay, last time I posted a video, it was all on comparing Inktense pencils to other watercolor pencils. By the way, my name's Karen Campbell. I'm a mixed media artist. I've published a whole slew of art books, and I love bringing fun things to you here on YouTube. I have two channels, a mixed media and a drawing one. So on this channel, I focus on mixed media techniques. Last week, I did an Inktense watercolor pencil comparative video and learned some very interesting things about the Inktense pencil. And today I wanted to compare it to different blacks because I'm a huge fan of the Stabilo all pencil. I use it like all the time. And I got a lot of questions like, Karen, why are you so obsessed with this pencil? Like, what is it? Can I just use another regular black watercolor pencil? Like, what's the big deal? So today I'm actually going to compare the black Stabilo with a bunch of other water-soluble black color pencils so that you can see for yourself just why the Stabilo is my go-to. I hope you learned something new today. Okay, after my last video comparing all the different watercolor pencils and being shocked at Inktense's let's just say water solubility characteristics that seem to quite be the opposite of what they claimed to do. If you didn't see that video, check the eye in the corner of the screen and go watch that. It got me thinking about comparing the blacks of all of these, well, some of these brands. I don't own the black in all of them, but I always use the Stabilo all black because I've tested this way like years and years ago, but now I'm starting to falter. I'm like, is it as black as I remember? I do remember testing, but I want to do it again because it's been so long. So I have gathered the blacks from the different brands, and I do want to test the water solubility, but also like the richness and the color and the pigments specifically. Because maybe there are other brands out there that I'm not like giving credit to because I'm so Stabilo, like I just love Stabilo so much. So I'm gonna try them right now so I can kind of once and for all be like, yes, the Stabilo all is still the king of the color as well as the water solubility. So I'm gonna do my same little testy sheet that I did last time. So here is the Stabilo, and I'm looking for like the color black. Like I want, because when you want black, you're doing a value scale or whatever, I don't like to mess around. Like I want it to be the black that I want it to. And I'm pushing down on all of these pretty hard. Wow, it's interesting. Sorry, the feel of these are so interesting. Like this one is so hard, so it's hard to press down, and that one is so soft. This Start Aquarelle was the lamest of the last week's test. So I'm expecting it to be the lamest here. This is Derwent Graphitant, which doesn't even look black, but it's supposed to be midnight black. This is Derwent Graphitant. Ooh, I cannot write to save my life. What's next? Then we have the Faber-Castell Albrecht, which performed very nicely on the last test, I have to say. It wasn't permanent, but it did do well in terms of water solubility. What's this one? This is a Derwent, just kind of straight up Derwent, not Inktense. We'll put not Inktense. And this is Ivory Black. Okay, so they're all getting their fair share of scribbles here. And then here is the Derwent Inktense. I'm going to test this water solubility again because I just kind of couldn't not believe. All right, so they all have a hearty, I'm going to go both directions. I'm going to get crazy. That's the Inktense again. Here's the Stabilo. And all I'm going to do is add water. I do so much work with Stabilos. But it's like the craziest of them all. And sometimes too, you don't want a crazy one. Like that's not good a lot of times. That causes strife a lot of times. So it's like you need to be careful. Which one is this one? You need to be careful what you wish for. A lot of times that can wreak havoc on your projects. So that's something that you need to know going in. What is this? Graphitint. This looks gray. And then this is the Derwent, just like straight up. You know what? I have one more. I have one more called General USA's. I'm going to get it right now because I totally use that one as well, and it's missing from here. All right, so this General's brand, this is good to know about too. I use this if I want the blackness of Stabilo, but with a touch less water-soluble craziness, because the Stabilo is like so much. So this is another one of my go-tos. So I would like to include it here because I do talk about it from time to time. So again, the color is what I'm after when I use black. I want it to be like true black, but it's not as crazy water soluble. So when you're doing, this is called USA Generals, and it's just like Stabilo Wall in that it writes on glass, metal, plastic, wood. It's like kind of almost like a Stabilo knockoff. But sometimes it's like, again, like sometimes you want less. You don't want the Stabilo because the Stabilo is like a freaking, like it's a lot. So sometimes that's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna just go one by one. This should be really fun. But again, I'm kind of looking for richness. And I haven't actually compared these ones. Oh my God. Stabilo never lets me down. Look at that. It's just totally black. Like you can probably obliterate this whole, look at that. That is what I'm talking about. That's why I use Stabilo all black when I want it, like no joke. Love it. Okay, here's the Start Aquarelle. And the first thing I notice is that it's kind of like a, there's green or blue in here. That's interesting. It is much more water soluble than the color I did in the last video, which was this pink. Was lame. So it is activating, but can you see the pigment difference? That's like a gray. It almost has like a green tint to it. Weird. Okay, here's the Derwent Graphitint, which is not very water soluble compared to the other two, and it's like totally gray. Again, very interesting. Let's try Faber-Castell, see how that's gonna work for us. Ooh, now that is nice and black. That is nice and black, but it still is not, it still can't hold a candle to the Stabilo, you know? It's okay, it's still gray. Like if this was like in a value scale, this would be gray and that would be black. All right, this is Derwent, like straight up. Yes, this is what I remember about testing these all those years ago, is that these other blacks are kind of like colors. This is very blue tinted. This is like a Payne's gray. When you, oh my God, you can't even see it at all. I'm so sorry. This is like a Payne's gray. You see the color? Like this one and this one have color pigments in them. This one is really light gray. That one is dark gray. And the Stabilo is the only one that's black. Okay. This is the Inktense. Ooh, that's nice. That is giving me a nice black. Again, I'm going to test this again because it's supposed to be permanent after you wet it. So let's see. I'm going to try to activate all of it. So we can put this, I'm gonna die. Put this to the test. All right, it's all, look at it, it dissolves super nicely. Like it is really activating. It's all melted, like a good little watercolor pencil that it is. But again, it's still like gunmetal gray. It's actually kind of a dirty, yucky gray, but it sets off. You can see now how blue this one is. Yeah, don't like that color. All right, USA Generals. Again, USA Generals is my like Stabilo backup. It's when I want the black of Stabilo, but not quite the water soluble like scare. See how much less water soluble it is? This is a great choice for like my mixed media hamburgers that I make, but you don't want the crazy, like you want a little bit of Stabilo to move a little bit in your projects, but not like crazy. That's what this is my go-to, and that's why I wanted to demo it for you. Okay, so as you can see, seriously, like look at that. compared to all of those. That's like jet black. And then these are variations of gray. This has blue in it. This has green in it. This one is super light. And this one just looks like dirty water. And this one is just a little bit water soluble. So you have kind of like can choose depending on your applications. All right, I do want to test the Inktense one because after I did it last week, if you missed this video, I tested them, and Inktense, again, is supposed to be permanent after you wet it, and I totally wet it again, and it was the most reactive out of all of them. So I'm dying to do this test with the blacks family and just see what happens. So give me a second. I'm gonna use my hair dryer. I really tried to activate all of this to get it wet because that's supposedly what you do, and then it should not move. So I'm gonna test this again with the blacks and we'll see. All right, they look so fancy. All right, now we're gonna do the re-wet test and see what happens and who can be re-wet and who cannot. I'm gonna start with a really juicy brush, make sure it's clean. It's clean. Okay, so let's see who can be re-wet. Oh, this one is a little bit, nothing crazy, but yes, it is getting dirty, as you can see. It's spreading out there, so I would say yes, that is re-wettable. Check. All right, Inktense, I'm saving that to the end. Okay, oh, Derwent. Derwent is, this is not the Inktense, is re-wetting quite a bit. So I'm gonna say yes, yes, yes. Faber-Castell, how about you, my friend? What's going on there? Yep, it is re-wetting. You can see that. All right, next up we have the Graphitin, the disappointing light gray. But again, Graphitin is like its own kind of fun thing, so I shouldn't be too mean on it. Just say black. You kind of want it to be a little bit black. Let's see, let me do that again. Yeah, I mean, you can see, yep, up here it's coming off a little bit. So you can definitely see that's re-wettable. This is that weird kind of crappy brand. That's definitely re-wettable up there. Okay, you can see that moving around. Stabilo, again, you can see like, see how it's the only one that's black, like truly black. Just saying, my best friend, oh yeah. So that is really, really regrettable. That's why people hate it. Either love that or hate that. But the Stabilo is no joke, as I always say. Like big time water soluble. Okay, so that's why you gotta be careful. Or don't use it if that's not what you want. And Inktense, I'm gonna switch brushes, so make sure that it's not the dirty Stabilo one that I just used at all. This is the clean brush. Come on, Inktense, no. No, it's totally reactivating, and it's reactivating just as much as the other ones, like just as much. Look at that. Lame. It's even doing it more again. Oh my God. This is what happened my last test. I was like, all right, do your job. Look at it. It's more than the other ones. And it's supposed to be, that's its big claim to fame, is that it's permanent. Okay, I don't trust that. That's just hilarious though. I tried. I'm trying Inktense. I want you to do your job, but you're failing. It's, again, second week in a row or second video in a row, it's like more water soluble after it's been wet and dried than some of these other colors. So, here we go. So, as I suspected, or at least as I hoped, the Stabilo Wall did not disappoint. It was the blackest of all the blacks, and it is the most water soluble of all of these different variations of grays with different pigments in them. I mean, it's no big deal. Again, the USA Generals is awesome if you want like a Stabilo in terms of black. It is the second one. It is the blackest pigment It has no other colors reflected in here. It doesn't lean towards gray or green or blue. It is black. It's like just a little bit water soluble, so it's great to use in my Hamburger method if you're familiar with that. And if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? The Hamburger, what? That's my favorite way to do mixed media projects. These are all the layers of the Hamburger. So you can go to YouTube, Google and put in Karen Campbell Hamburger system and you'll pull up those videos. They're all here on YouTube for you. And I'll put a link in the description box below. And yeah, or how about this? I'll link it right here in the end card and you can just click on that right now and watch it. And then I will be back for another product test. I think we're gonna do Tombows next time. I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Oh, and then just as an aside, if you're wondering like why, well, another application or way that I use Stabilos, in case you're wondering, okay, we've heard of the Hamburger system, how else do you use it? I actually just like to straight up draw with my Stabilo. So this girl that's the cover of my How to Draw and Find Your Style book is actually a close-up of a girl that I did I was demoing it, and this video is here on YouTube. I will link to that in the description box, and you can check the eye in the corner of your screen too. But I was doing a comparison between Prismacolor black and then the Stabilo all. So as you can see, using just a Stabilo, you can get really incredible results just using Stabilo and water, and that's it. So it's just a process that I personally love. Again, you can click the end screen and you can watch the making of this whole kind of thing together, and you can understand really kind of in action why I love the Stabilo all pencil, and I also teach how to use it in this book as well. So have an awesome week, and I'll see you next time for another fun product demo on Tombows.